Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and happy Black History Month. If this is your first time joining me, hi, welcome, I am Jamila. I love all things beauty, I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. Yes, we do. Today I have a very exciting video for you guys because I'm going to be doing a tag, but not only am I doing a tag, one, I'm doing a tag that I did last year, and I'm doing it with one of my absolute favorite creators. Last year, when I was very early into my channel, I actually created a Black Excellence tag with one of my friends from college, and we did that last Black History Month. And this year, as I was thinking about, what do I want to do for Black History Month, I knew that I wanted to recreate the tag because it's always really fun to think or look a year back and just kind of like think how your mind has changed, how things have evolved. So I decided that I wanted to recreate this tag, but I also decided that I wanted to do it with another creator. So I reached out to my girl, Kara, not other than Beauty in the Frizz, to see if she would be interested in doing this tag with me. If you don't know who Kara is, I'm so sorry. You should. Kara is one of my absolute favorite creators on this platform and somebody that I honestly think is becoming one of my really just great friends because she's just an absolute beautiful human being, and she's someone that, in my opinion, I think embodies Black excellence. She's a makeup enthusiast, a YouTuber, a mom, and a teacher, and is just a phenomenal person just overall. If you have not already done so, if you don't know about Kara, I will have her channel linked down below. Make sure you go over and head on over to her channel, check out her stuff, let her know that I sent you, because I really do think that you will enjoy the content. Like I said, she's a makeup enthusiast. She loves all things makeup. And what I really appreciate about her channel is that she's very intentional about what she brings into her collection and how she uses her makeup. On her channel, you will get everything. You will get luxury, you will get indie, you will get high-end, and you will get her thoughts and her reactions to just makeup in general. So it's a really great place to find a community, and I've found and met so many amazing people there. So to keep this intro a little bit short, I want to go ahead and dive into the tag. All of the questions will be linked down below if you want to answer it for yourself on your channel. Please go ahead and do so. If you have some creators that you would like to see do the tag, make sure you tag them in the comments below. Make sure you tag myself and Kara, and let's go ahead and jump in. Now, my face is completely bare because I am also planning to just kind of get ready while I do this video. I'm going to try to use majority Black-owned products if I have them for that category. So let's just dive in. I'm not going to go into detail into what products that I'm using or how I'm applying my makeup, so I'll have everything linked down below, but some of the things I might just point out. So for my eyes, which are already primed, I'm going to go in with the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad in Bronze Borealis. This was a part of her holiday collection. It's been sitting in my collection for a very long time, and I just have not had the chance to use it yet, so I'm going to dive into this baby right here. So the first question in our tag is, what does Black History Month mean to you? And honestly, I had never really given any thought to Black History Month prior to moving to the US. If you've been on my channel for a while, you already know that I was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago, a majority Black country. So for me, Black history, Black culture, that was just always kind of ingrained in me because everybody else around me was Black. And I know that there is a huge history and symbolism with Black history in the American culture that I was just never exposed to from not having lived here. But now that I've been in the US for over 10 years at this point, I have come to appreciate and love and respect Black History Month as a Black woman living in America. And to me, Black History Month is an opportunity to really sort of ingrain myself in Black history in America. And I know that there are some people who believe that Black history should be every day. Black history is American history. Black history is world history. And yes, I fully agree with that 100%, that Black history should be an everyday thing. But the reality is, I don't think that we're at a point in America or in this world society at all to really have Black history be something that's ingrained every day. There are so many people who just don't know about Black history. And because there's a lot of people, Black and otherwise, who just don't know Black history, I think that it is important to have this month dedicated to celebrating Black history. And I don't think that it's necessarily a time to, look back with sadness and with anger and hatred about what happened to our people, but really a way for us to just look at how far we've come as a people, as a society. Black is so multifaceted that it's really hard to wrap your head around how we all kind of came to be. And I am particularly, very interested in Black history because of the fact that I am Black Caribbean. So, being Black Caribbean, we do have a different history than African Americans, but they're so intertwined. And I think a lot of people don't actually understand how closely tied together Caribbean history and Black Caribbean history is to the African American history and the African American experience. And that's what I get from Black History Month. It's a time to reflect and learn, because I think it's really important to learn. And I learn something every year. I learn something every day, if I'm being honest, that I just didn't know before. Because let's be honest, we weren't taught these things in school. Like, if I reflect on my social studies classes back in Trinidad, I didn't know any of this. And, part of it being that I was being taught the history of the Caribbean and the history of Trinidad. So I didn't really get the American history. So now I'm learning the American history now that I'm living here and I am technically an African American, So yes, I think part of it is to be able to learn about Black history, but also to think about where we're going. What is the future of Black people in this country? We've already come so far, and we didn't just come so far to come this far. We have so much further to go, and we have so much further more to contribute to this society and to the world. So the second question in our tag is, who is your favorite Black beauty influencer? This one's hard, and honestly, I can't remember what I said last time. So it's going to be interesting to go back and see what I said. And there are just so many Black creators that I have found as I've been on this journey as a YouTuber. Part of the reason why I was really interested in getting into this space is because I felt like I wasn't finding the creators that I wanted to see. I kept seeing all of these women who didn't look like me. Even when I typed into YouTube, I am looking for reviews on deep skin. I'm looking for reviews on Black women. And YouTube had the audacity to show me all these other people. And I was like, I can't get any more specific than what I'm typing in. And I really struggled because I wanted to find a community of Black women or Black creators that I could watch, that I could support, which is half of the reason why, I felt like this was a journey that I needed to go on, becoming a creator myself. But in reality, if I have to think about a Black beauty influencer that I really, really admire and adore, I think I would have to give it to the iconic Jackie Aina. I don't know what else to say. And the reason why I'm calling out Jackie specifically is because of everything that she has done to elevate Black women in this YouTube space and in this creator space, and to push Black women into a space of being in luxury, which is what I really appreciate. In addition to not seeing a lot of Black women on these platforms, I think that when you do see them, you oftentimes don't see them in luxury or experiencing luxury or reviewing luxury. And I think Jackie Aina did such a great job at sort of pushing Black women into this space and making it and exposing that we already have been in this space. We operate in this space. Black women love luxury. We do. We always have. But we have never been given the opportunities to really interact and engage in brands in that way. And it's honestly been a shame because we are probably some of the biggest consumers of luxury. So there are so many other Black creators that I can call out and that I can celebrate, and I will definitely be tagging a number of them to hopefully do this tag. But I want to give Jackie Aina her flowers because she's been in this game for a long time. She paved the way for so many other people to come into this game and to be successful in this space. And she still continues to celebrate, Black women in beauty and to challenge brands to reimagine how they think about Black women and how they think about inclusivity. And I appreciate that as she's gotten this level of success, she's really stayed true to her core beliefs around inclusivity in Black women in this makeup industry. So hats off to Jackie. We bow down to you, queen. Okay, my eyes are in a nice place where I like it. I'm trying to keep this look real soft and easy and quick. For my primer, I'm going to try to go in with my Pat McGrath. There we go. It's the Sublime Perfection Primer. Definitely not my favorite from Mama Pat, but we're doing Black owned over here. And for my foundation, I'm going to go in with the LYS foundation. It's the Love Yourself foundation. This is in the shade DN3. I did not think that I was going to like this foundation as much as I do, but I don't know if you guys can see. It's like I only have this much product left, so clearly I've been using it. Okay, so question number 3 is, what is your favorite Black-owned beauty brand? There are so many nowadays that I have this infinite amount of choices that I can go with, but there's only one. There is only one. And I have to give it to none other than Mama Pat, Miss Patricia. Like, I talk a lot of smack about Pat McGrath. You guys know how I feel when she doesn't listen to us. She gives us things that we didn't ask for, or, you know, she does these weird random sales. Like, I have a lot of emotions about Mama Pat, but at the end of the day, you cannot say anything about her quality. You cannot say anything about her formula. You cannot come for the level of excellence that Mama Pat puts out. It is what it is. And when I think about the Black beauty brands that I use and what I have in my collection, Mama Pat is one of those brands that literally is there. It's everywhere. I have not only her eyeshadow, which is, you know, what she's most known for, and in my opinion, the best eyeshadow formula I've ever tried, but I have her complexion products. I have her primer, her foundation, her concealer, her powder. And sure, I may not love all of her products, but at the end of the day, I have never tried a Pat McGrath product where I was like, you know what, the quality just is bad. This just doesn't work at all. I may not like the finish, or I may not consider it the best that I've tried in that category, but the quality has never just been like complete trash. And, you know, kind of going back to my original thought about like Jackie Aina and being in luxury, one of the reasons why I truly love Mama Pat and her brand is because it is a luxury Black-owned, woman-owned brand. Like, you don't get to say those things very often. You don't get to, I can't think of that many, other than Pat McGrath and Danessa Myricks, maybe, Black-owned, woman-owned makeup brands that are in the luxury space. And not only is Mama Pat in the luxury space, she is killing the game when it comes to makeup. You know, her makeup has been on Cardi B, Adele, has walked down runways. And to be fair, Mama Pat has earned that. She has earned everything that she has been given in this space. This is blending in really nicely. And so yeah, sometimes you guys will hear me complain about Mama Pat, talk smack about Mama Pat, but at the end of the day, I have the utmost respect and reverence for this woman because she's really developed a product that is undeniable. Like, you just can't argue with it. Maybe one day she'll give us some green eyeshadow and some blue eyeshadow. I mean, I don't know. I've low-key given up, but I'm like, do what you do, Mama Pat. We're gonna buy it anyway. I know I am. I'm gonna talk a lot of shit and I'm gonna wait for a sale, but I'm gonna buy it. This has blended in absolutely flawlessly. Very surprised. Maybe this is a nice combo. This foundation, even though I like the foundation, it's very finicky and it doesn't work with every single primer, but I feel like this is blending in really nicely with this Pat McGrath primer. And it doesn't look too dewy. It actually looks really natural. So maybe this is another primer that this works with. because I've tried this with a couple of primers and it just kind of like pills up and it doesn't sink into the skin, and it very obviously just sits on top of the skin. But this, I think, has sunk in really nicely. It's definitely medium coverage. I do have some acne scarring around my chin that is poking through, but that's how I like it. For concealer, I am going to go in with Mama Pat's concealer. I have MD21 and MD23. I feel like I'm somewhere in between both of these because I don't like a super bright under eye. So I like to take MD21, which is the lightest of the two, and put that at the very beginning, and then take MD23 and put it on the outer part. So the next question on the list is, what is a brand that you will not support because they are not inclusive of deeper complexions or deeper skin tones? So I feel like my answer is going to be the same. Let me take that back. Okay. So last year I said that I would not be supporting Hourglass because Hourglass has a repeated history of not including products for people of deeper complexions. And I still stand by that. Considering the budget that Hourglass has to create products, considering that Hourglass is a luxury brand, and considering that they spent the time to reformulate their products and re-release their products, but still exclude people of color, I just can't bring myself to buy their products. And I know that this year, I think last year they gave us one more of their little trio things that is supposed to work for people of deeper complexions. So yay, good job, Hourglass. So they gave us one more, and so far, from what I understand and from some of the creators that I watch it deeper than me, it works well. So it works well in deeper complexions. But I still can't, I still don't feel good about the fact that it took them this long, this much backlash. A lot of the backlash had to come from white creators for them to even do this whole release of a third palette, which is problematic for me because Black creators and Black consumers have for years been begging Hourglass to give us these products in deeper complexions. You know, people love the formula. People rave about the formula. We want to try the formula. And nothing, crickets. They would constantly re-release the same products, put it on deeper complexion models, do whatever Photoshop or photo manipulation they needed to do to make it look like it worked for darker complexions, and then put it out there pretending that this is new and revolutionary and that it's going to work for deeper complexions, knowing good and well that it's all manipulation of like the photography so it looks darker and richer. And that bothers me, and it still bothers me. I don't know if I'm bothered by the fact that Hourglass never acknowledged it. They just kind of gave us this third palette and was like, we're just gonna silently release this and hopefully this appeases them and they don't say anything. And in addition to them kind of silently releasing it, what I did not like was that they only released this on their website. And I believe the excuse was, oh, well, we didn't know if it would sell. Haven't we been asking for this for years? So they only released it to their website, and when they got like the response that they were hoping for, as in Black people buyed it, now it is available in Sephora and all of these other retailers. My thing is, it shouldn't have been that way in the first place. If you're going to release a product for people of deeper complexions, put it where it is accessible. Put it in Sephora, put it in Ulta. Why it is not only we have to beg for you to release it, but then we have to beg for you to put it in places for us to buy it. Let me calm down, because I get it hot. Okay, I took a minute to breathe because I was getting really, really passionate. So, bringing it back down. And I already blended out my concealer. So to set my under eyes, I'm just going to quickly go in with the Fenty Beauty. This is a loose powder in the shade Honey. This isn't one that I necessarily reach for a ton because it is very drying. So if you have really, really oily skin, I think that this is a great powder. Or if, like I'm doing now, you are using a really dewy foundation, this is a great one to help control some of the shine that comes with using these really dewy foundations. So I'm just gonna use that to set where I applied concealer. And then we will carry on. Okay, before I set the rest of my face, I do want to go in with blush. So I'm going to go in with the LYS This is their cream blush. This is in the shade Passion, and I'm going to try to use my fingers to apply this. Never used this before, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so we were talking about Hourglass. So yeah, that is definitely a brand that I am at the moment not willing to support, just because of the fact that I think that they have done a great disservice to people of color in the way in which they went about and continue to go about releasing some of their products. Now, I want to give you all an extra one in this response, because this has been bugging me for a while, and I've been trying to find like where to say it, and this is probably going to piss some people off, but I said what I said. But another brand that is honestly, I think, on my way to, if not currently on my list of brands that I don't support because they don't cater to deeper complexions, is Chantecaille. I feel like at a point I convinced myself that Chantecaille works for deeper complexions. And then I bought their pressed setting powder that is supposed to be for medium deep. And first of all, it looks tan as hell in the compact, and maybe it's because of how the compact looks, fine, sure. But I also purchased their bronzer, and I tried to convince myself that that was going to work for me too. And I don't know what it is with me, for this brand specifically, trying to convince myself that they are creating products that work for deeper complexions, and I just don't know how to apply it, versus they are not creating products for deeper complexions. Because when you go to the Chantecaille website and you look at their blushes, you look at their bronzer, you look at their pressed powder, they don't work. And I don't know, I feel like they don't get the same amount of backlash as some of these other brands do, like Hourglass. And if we're being honest, they're just as expensive, if not more expensive than Hourglass. So that tells me that they also probably, more likely than not, have the funding to create products for people of deeper complexions. And they're just choosing not to. So right now, I don't feel comfortable supporting Chantecaille because I don't think that they create products for me. And let me be clear, I am a medium deep complexion. Deep at best in the summertime. I am not the darkest that there is. So the fact that there aren't products for me on Chantecaille's website, and I am medium deep, come on. And yeah, that's just how I feel. So I would like to know if, some of my other deeper complected friends that might watch this video have had the same thoughts and the same feelings about Chantecaille as a brand as I do, because I feel like no one ever talks about them. No one calls them out. And I just don't feel comfortable anymore really supporting the brand. Not that I have a ton of things from them anyway, because I think that they're severely overpriced. I mean, like, severely overpriced. But yeah. And I will continue on to the next question. Ooh, people gonna be mad at me. Jesus. Said what I said. I said what I said. Also, get into this blush. This is giving. Looking all rosy and healthy. So I don't have any pressed powders to set my entire face. So I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath. This is the under eye blurring powder. It's in the shade Deep. And I feel like it's a little bit too deep for me to use in my under eye. So I'm actually just going to use it to set my whole face. Okay, so moving along. The next question is, what is your favorite Blac sitcom? I feel like last time when I did this, I talked about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I think is a great sitcom. And I feel like I don't have one favorite of all time. So what I want to do is talk about a Blac sitcom that I am absolutely loving right now, and that is Blackish. I absolutely love the Blackish sitcom. And I feel like there are so few Blac sitcoms right now. Like, I'm thinking back in the day when I was younger, there was Fresh Prince, there was Martin, there was Everybody Hates Chris, My Wife and Kids, the Wayans Brothers. There were all of these shows that I grew up watching, and I'm like, what is the younger generation watching? Because am I missing it? Am I on the wrong channel? Because the only things that I can think of seeing is Blackish and Grownish. So I want to talk about Blackish as my favorite sitcom right now because of the fact that I feel like I, can relate to Dre and Rainbow in the story so much. I feel like, right, and maybe it's this season, but right now they have this storyline where they talk about how, difficult it has been for both of them in their careers because of the fact that they are the only Black people in their position. And how hard it is to be a successful Black person when you're the only Black person in the room, and the kind of pressure that comes with that, and kind of living up to what is expected of you in some situation, in some ways, but also not wanting to be the token Black person in the room, or the person that is expected to speak for all Black people. And I feel like that resonates really well with me, because I also think that I have had those experiences in my career, and I still continue to have those experiences where I am the only Black person in the room, or I'm the only woman in the room. And that was something that was very new to me when I first moved to the US, because, like I said, I grew up in a Black majority country. Everybody else was Black. I had never experienced being the only Black person in a room until I moved to America. And I moved to America when I was 18 years old. So it was like a slap in the face of, you know, like reality just hit me in the face when I started being the only Black person in the room, and it was like starkly obvious. And you know, watching Blackish and watching how they navigate that, and you know, there is some sense of like, it is what it is. You don't really get to change that, but you do get to, especially if you have some power, you do get to think about ways in which you can create a path for those coming behind you to end up in those positions, so that they aren't the only ones in the room. And you know, sometimes you're struggling alone, and I really resonate with that so much right now. And it's just really nice to see a Black sitcom that's just based on upper middle class, wherever they are now, Black people just living and kind of navigating that situation. They're not living in poverty. There's no drugs. There's no gun violence. There's just none of that. It's just like regular life. Like, so that is currently my favorite sitcom. So the next question is, what would you like to see more of in the Black community? And I'm gonna go in with my Fenty bronzer in Cocoa Naughty. I'm trying really, really hard to empty this. Anyway, I feel like I would love to see more accountability in the Black community. And I feel like I don't know how to articulate this very well, but I would like to see more accountability and more personal responsibility from us. I think that, you know, life gave us the shitty end of the stick. It, like, 100,000%. And we are still, you know, seeing the consequences of slavery and Jim Crow and all of the and racism in America particularly. But I also think that there are so many opportunities for us to, and I don't want to say rise above, but to be accountable. Whether it is accountable for your own actions and how you show up in the world and how you live in the world, but also to hold the people that we put into power accountable. I think that, you know, we show up when it's time for presidential elections, and we show out, and a lot of times it's carried on the backs of Black women, which it shouldn't be. But once we vote, it's like, okay, now go forth and fix things. But we don't hold our politicians accountable. You know, we put them in power to make a better world for everyone, a better country for everyone, but we don't hold them accountable. And we also don't show up for local elections. A lot of the issues that people have with the communities where they live are issues that need to be addressed at the local level, at the state level, at the county level. But we don't show up for local elections. We don't think about who's being elected in as judges, as DAs. And those are the people that have the biggest impact, or the most direct impact on our lives, because they're the ones that are making decisions for our communities. We don't, you know, show up for school board elections. And all of these little things is what I would love to see our community rally around more. We don't need to just rally around presidential elections every 4 years. We need to be rallying around these smaller local elections. Like, it brought me so much joy when we rallied around Stacey Abrams in her, you know, in her campaign to become governor. And I would like to see more of that, you know, like us rallying around these Black and brown politicians that are here for us, or that are showing up for us at the local level, because That's where we need to be putting some work. So that's what I mean by, I would love to see our community be accountable, take more personal responsibility, and hold our politicians, our elected officials accountable for what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, 3 questions left. This face is almost done. Try to keep it real simple. Okay, so the next question is, what does Black excellence mean to you? This is an easy one for me because to me, Black excellence is being able to bring my true authentic self to every space, to every opportunity, to every room that I'm in. I think that Black people being able to live the way that they want to live freely, to live proudly, to live loudly, is just so important. And Black excellence doesn't have to mean that you have 4, 5, 6, 12 degrees. It doesn't have to mean that you make 6 figures or more. It doesn't have to mean any of that. It just has to mean that you are living the life that you want to live and you're finding joy in your life. That's as simple as it is to me. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's a really short, quick answer, but that's kind of what it is to me. I've always felt like I was able to live really freely and really openly in my Blackness. And that is, having come from a Black majority country. I never had people look at me or put me down for being Black. Like, I have so many friends that talk about, like, going to school and their teachers, letting them, and their teachers not believing in them or telling them that they wouldn't amount to anything or they wouldn't pass for or they wouldn't get into a really good college because they were Black. And I never had that. So I feel like in a lot of ways, I had some privilege in having been able to occupy those spaces. I don't have a lot of self-doubt around my Blackness. Like, nobody could tell me nothing because I have lived in a space where they couldn't tell me nothing. And having moved to the US as an adult and not having had those very traumatic experiences that a lot of Black and brown kids face, that never shaped me. And so, now at this point I'm rambling, but yeah, basically Black excellence, being able to show up in every space that you choose to occupy as your true authentic self, without apology, without question. Okay, I am just picking up this Pat McGrath trio to use the highlighter in here. I wanted to use another one, but honestly, it's too much to dig and find it, so I'm just going to use this to highlight my face. And the next question is, how do you plan to celebrate your Blackness during Black History Month? Honestly, truth be told, I don't really have any plans to celebrate my Blackness in any extra way this month. I feel like I celebrate my Blackness every day. I do want to continue to celebrate my Blackness every day. But one thing that I would love to do during this month, or to get started during this month, is to kind of get back on track. And I'll probably do a separate video just talking about what I mean by that. But I have been really and truly affected by this whole panoramic we've been in, and I feel like I'm only coming to terms with understanding how that has upended my life. I'm someone that likes structure, I'm someone that likes routine, and my entire routine kind of went out the window with that. And with that, a lot of the healthy habits that I had in my life kind of disappeared. I stopped going to the gym, I stopped meal prepping, I ate whatever I wanted when I wanted. I pretty much drink wine every day, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I know that I shouldn't be doing that. And I want to get back to a space where I am feeling sort of happy and healthy holistically. So while this isn't very specific to Black History Month, I really want to take this time to start getting on this sort of holistic health journey. And it's not about losing weight. It's not about being physically one way or the other, but it's just getting back to a place where I feel centered and where I feel balanced. I don't have balance in my life. I spend way too much time on social media. I can be very honest and open about that. I spend way too much time doing YouTube, if I'm being honest, like creating videos, editing videos, and not enough time doing all of the other things that are still equally, if not more important to me, like spending time with family and friends, going to the gym and working out. Like, I know those things are important to me, but I still have not been able to find time to integrate them back into my life. And, I kept saying, it's a pandemic, blah, blah, blah. What am I supposed to do? But truth be told, we are 2 years into this, and I can't keep using that as an excuse anymore. Like, this is going to be the new normal. This is going to be the new life. I need to be able to adjust and to continue or to start back living my life in a way that brings me joy, in a way that brings me balance, and in a way that brings me peace. So for Black History Month, I really want to dedicate the time to figuring out how to recenter and realign myself in a way that will bring me back to peace and to that Black excellent self that I know I could be. Okay, so my face is pretty much done. What I'm going to do is go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then I'm going to come back onto camera. We have one question left, so I'm going to come back, face all done, and then I'll answer the last question. Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look. To wrap things up, I did go in with the Pat McGrath Fetish Eyes Mascara and the Moxie Proper Beauty Lipstick. A phenomenal Black-owned beauty brand. They, I think, as of right now, they only do lipstick, but it's lipstick for women of color. So if you have a deeper complexion, they create like the perfect nudes for deeper complexions, and I'm loving this pinky lip. All right, so we have just one last question in the tag, and I wanted to make sure that I was fully faced to answer it. So the last question is, what advice would you give to the next generation of young Black women? So the last time I answered this question, I wanted Black women to know that they are worthy, and worthy in every sense of the word. Today, what I want to impart onto the younger generation of Black women is, it is okay to want, need, and ask for help. Society has created this picture of the strong Black woman. They've glorified this strong Black woman, and it can sometimes create this unrealistic expectation that Black women need to aspire to be strong, to be independent, to need nobody, to be able to handle everything on their own. And, you know, we are strong, but we don't have to be strong all the time. It is okay to need help. It is okay to ask for help, and it is okay to want help. You know, I say this knowing that I don't oftentimes always live up to that. I have an amazing family and friend support system who I know would drop everything to help me if I asked for it. But sometimes it feels hard to put yourself out there. You don't want to be a burden to anybody else. So it can be really hard to ask for help or to say that you're struggling. But we shouldn't feel ashamed of needing help and of wanting help. And for this younger generation, as you guys are coming up in this world, or as any young woman is coming up in this world, you are not alone. You should never feel ashamed to ask for help. You should never feel less than to ask for help. And it is completely okay, acceptable. And I am challenging you to do that and to seek help if you need it, and even if you don't need it. All right, and that's the end of today's tag, guys. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you are coming from Kara's channel, thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you enjoyed this video, I would absolutely love if you would consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the family. There's a lot of content that I plan on putting out this year, and I love all you guys. I love having you guys here. If you do this tag, please go ahead and make sure that you tag me. If you have not already done so, make sure you head over to Kara's channel, show her some love, let her know that I sent you, and make sure you tag your favorite creators so that they can do this tag as well. Finally, happy Black History Month. I hope you all get to celebrate, get to learn, and enjoy this month for what it is. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. And as always, I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.